win. I am down to willing, so I will find a way. It took a minute, now it didn't happen right away. When it get hot in the kitchen, you decide to stay. That's how it winners made. Stick a fork in the hater on my dinner plate. I walk into the fire like it's just a bit of flame. I switch my style up, watch the money pile up. I'ma get rich with life.
Oh, we can't hear you.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to, I don't know what we're calling this thing. We're wrapping up live from the CrossFit Games. We have a special guest in the house. Alison Scuds is with us. Okay. And she's going to hang out with us for the next little bit to wrap up today's events. Super excited about that. But yeah, what a crazy, crazy day. Crazy day. Allie, you just got here like yesterday.
Yep, I got in last night.
Man, this morning was insane. We were given instructions. Yesterday we went to get credentials and we were given instructions and we weren't allowed to see anything. So they had like a picture of stuff and said, you're going to go here and you're going to go there. Couldn't find any of it this morning.
Oh, no.
Couldn't find any of it. Finally found.
Whenever they move the games, it's like relearning the lay of the land, right? Like it's going to take everybody a couple of days to finally like get it.
Yeah, and the media room and the athlete area is in a separate building from the arena. So you have to walk a block and a half away or something like that to get to the athlete area and the press area. And we finally found it this morning, finally got in. And then like, I know what enhanced access means, but I didn't know how to get to it. And by the time I figured it out today, like the day was almost over.
Uh-oh.
So I'm ready for tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm ready for tomorrow, but tonight, yeah. So there's already a bunch of stuff in the chat. The first thing I wanted to throw out, did you guys see the open dates are already announced?
I did. No, I missed that. End of February.
Which is when it always is. That's not the surprise.
Right.
The surprise is there's a pending sale, and yet they announced the open announcement.
I mean, that's a good sign, I guess. Yeah.
So is there more synchronicity with the new owners and what is there that we can actually announce a date like that?
You got to think, right? The open's not going away. So that's good. That's always a good sign.
But we've never had it announced this early.
That's true.
I found that bizarre. It's just one of those things that make you say,
Well, maybe this group and team of people they put together is going to get timing right and communication right. Yeah. Do you see, Scott, do you see that in any world being not a positive thing that they've announced it so early, or you're just complimenting it that it's good?
I think it's a good thing they announced it early.
Yeah.
And I hope it foretells that the new ownership is a move in the right direction.
I agree. Yeah.
That's what
like Jamie said. It's like those are some pain points, that we've all heard over the years, and it's like, okay, they're kind of like setting a good foot before they even officially put their foot in. So that's good.
Yeah. So cool. Wow. Love Scuds.
What's up, cool?
Fergie, Allison, my aim is true.
Hey.
George Wang with the jokes. They had to announce the open dates before WFP announced their dates.
Also a good point. I mean, it's better to get those dates out there so there isn't overlap.
And
you claim the dates you want.
Yeah, there are rumors that WFP has announced their tour stop 1. It's in Spain and it's 2 weeks after the Open.
Jeez.
Okay. After the last week of the Open, I'm assuming?
Correct.
Okay.
Which that's a rumor. I don't have confirmation. I saw it from Spin somewhere, so I don't know how much stock to fully put in that yet.
Hmm.
But I just thought that was something that made you say,
Agree.
Before we get into too much, another thing, I'm uploading a reel right now with Phil Muscarella from CrossFit Invictus, and he's the captain of that team this year. And he makes the comment in a vignette I made that's actually for members only up on YouTube right now. But I clipped this little piece, and it's taking forever to upload onto Instagram. So maybe let me see if I can play it over this. Sure. No, it's not going to work.
Ah.
Maybe it will. Maybe, hold on. Got to try another thing.
I've seen 2 comments about the crowd. How was the crowd there? Did you guys feel like it was lacking?
Yes.
Yeah, it was definitely thin, pretty thin today. Hopefully,
But it is Friday.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, Scott. Is hopefully it fills out a little bit Saturday and Sunday. But I also just bought my tickets last night, and there was a lot left.
Yeah. Yeah, I could only see the stands maybe once or twice, and they didn't look super full, but I also didn't know what area I was necessarily like. Of course, it looks pretty busy behind like the finish line, but sides, when you could see the sides, it did look a little lacking.
The sides are full, the finish line's full, the corners are not. And hopefully and there are some that are like reserved for media, and maybe they didn't use up as much as they thought. Even the sides up top are fairly full.
Okay.
And it's supposedly a bigger arena than Fort Worth, right?
Right.
Really?
It is. It seats more than Fort Worth.
And bigger than the Madison too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. It felt small to me being in there today at least. And I was just trying to like imagine what last year and the year before felt like. And yeah, if I would have guessed, I would have said it was a smaller arena. So that's interesting. Maybe because it wasn't totally packed out yet, that was why.
He did say that was with like the top upper bowl, and I have a feeling that's probably not really going to get seated. So like
they had some of it covered up with big sponsor flags too, I was noticing. So those sections they won't even sell.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to up Allison's mic volume. Hopefully that works. I see some stuff in here, but I've got the Muscarella thing up. We'll hit that, and then we'll go back to attendance.
Okay.
And that is right here.
Well, what are you looking forward to most the rest of the weekend?
I'm just trying to enjoy it, like there's a lot of friends and people that aren't here this year that are perennial CrossFit Games athletes, and like talking with them, and they're like, yeah, even though it was our choice not to compete this year, like they still feel like, they're missing something. So I'm not taking anything for granted. I'm just trying to enjoy the moment. It's very halfway over. We're one day in, and when we're at 4 events, but I'm done 4. So it goes by quick. I'm just trying to enjoy every moment.
So, did you pick on that perennial games athletes who chose not to compete this season are saying they're feeling like they missed something?
Yeah.
So I just labeled this things that make you go,
I mean, do you think it's the coverage that they're seeing, the kit that they got? Is there anything like in specific you think people are seeing come out that they're like, man, I wish I was there?
I think if you've been listening to me for the last few weeks, I think it's a little bit of everything. I think that the WFP has made some promises they haven't kept. I think that people that they thought were the devil are coming off as better than that over the last few weeks. And then it's probably they see their friends out there competing and having a good time, and they don't get to take part.
Yeah. It's just like the experience, and I think the CrossFit Games is always like the excuse me, it's always like the Christmas like time of the year. You know, it's like when you get to see everybody, and especially if you're competing as an athlete, like it's just such a unique experience. And so, you know, to play devil's advocate a little bit to that, like I think even if you were an athlete who did make the choice, like even if you were still like felt good about that decision of not competing, I think no matter what, you're still gonna feel that way, you know, because it's feelings aren't black and white, right? So they might have made the decision for, you know, these reasons over here, but then these reasons that are kind of like separate from those are what they're missing out on, you know, being with their friends and having the experience with the fans and just the community and the competition.
Yeah. I think being field of 30 puts eyes on the athletes a little more. And so if you're sitting out, you're like, man, it would have been a good year to be there. Like these people aren't getting coverage. I think the colors of the uniform are back to there's some color and they look good on screen. And yeah, I'm sure there's a host of reasons.
So I just clipped that thought that was interesting. Wanted to put that there. The full vignette is on YouTube right now as a members only. It'll switch to all access tomorrow. I have 2 more vignettes to get out tonight. So look for those. And again, those will flip over to full access 24 hours later. A majority of them are staying in my hotel, and you can tell this is their Super Bowl. To them, so focused.
Yeah.
That is one thing I've learned with enhanced access. When in semifinals, when I could get interviews pretty easily, it's a different game at the games. Warm-ups, you just kind of stand back and let them do their thing. And your best hope is cool down time. And so I'm going to change up my strategy tomorrow and hopefully have some better success with that.
Yeah, I mean, from years past being there and like being there with Jim in the back with warm up, I feel like in the past, nobody was allowed in the warm up area. I know the last 2 years, they kind of opened that up to Savon's group and some extra, but the athletes, I think, have become accustomed to being able to warm up without interruption. And I mean, you just need that time to focus on the event. You don't want outside noise.
Yep, agreed. And it's sometimes like as an athlete, you're even planning it down to like the minute. So like I'm like arriving at the venue at exactly the time I need to be there because I'm recovering outside. So it's like the minute I get there, I have minute 0 to 5, I'm on the bike. Minute 5 to 7, I'm doing this, mobility and whatnot. And so it's easy like to get pulled out of that and then feel like you're kind of missing a piece of that. So I definitely can understand that from the athlete perspective.
Yeah. Fergie, run, roll, run.
Would Jamie rather chaperone a Taylor Swift sing-along party or do run, row, run for 24 hours?
The latter.
So, Allie, you did run, row, run, right? You did the spectator version?
I did. Yeah, they had the full version that you could do. And I was actually planning on doing the full version, but how the timing of the heats and everything worked out, I had to quickly get back to watch Raf's second heat. So I did like the scaled version, which was still really hard. It was a 3-mile run, 2K row, a 1-mile run. And it was super fun. It was like really, the weather here is amazing compared to Vegas. Like it's super hot and dry in Vegas right now, so I've been running a lot, but I've had to like get up super early, and even at like 8 a.m. it's still 90 degrees in Vegas. So it was like beautiful weather for running, and it was fun to get to do like a little burn run and just be with the community. There was probably like 15 or 20 people in my heat, and we were the first one of the event, and got to try out the Echo rower for the first time. That was quite the experience. I definitely felt, and I don't know if this was just the workout or if it was the Echo rower itself, but like my back felt like it got so blown up. Like it definitely had the same feel of the rower, but about like 1,000 meters in, I was like, wow, my back is like pumped right now. So that was kind of interesting. And yeah, just to do the little course along the river there, it was awesome.
The course looked awesome. The weather it's actually really nice here in Michigan too. Like would be similar. When I heard the temperature there, I was like, oh, it's going to be such a good day for this.
Yeah. Especially when the individuals and teams went, it was a little earlier too, so it was even cooler and like even better. So yeah, they had that was a great event. And 3, 2, 1 was
yeah.
Denise, it was perfect weather today just to walk around. When I got there this morning, the outside vendor village was pretty packed, and they were hitting that more than the inside version, and then that switched. But one thing before we get into the events, there's CrossFit has their store open up, and we talked a couple weeks ago that their designs hadn't changed, and if they brought Pukey back, it would be a big seller, and all of that happened.
No way.
All of it. Pukey is back on a shirt. They've done new designs for all the CrossFit stuff. It was like people are buying that stuff up fast.
Interesting. Great. I'm gonna have to go to the store and see what they got. That's awesome.
The weather definitely makes you miss having some more outdoor events. So I was just thinking that like it's a shame that they're all like indoors for the rest of the weekend.
It is. Did they bring Forging Elite Fitness back? They did. Amanda Hari, my good best friend in the media space, bought a Yeti mug that says Forging Elite Fitness.
Nice.
So yeah, it's all back. All the old sayings, all the old Pukey. All of this stuff kind of adding up is like, I think this sale is going to be a good thing.
Did they bring the unfuckwithable back? I had a shirt back in the day that said that. Across.
I didn't see that, but I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
So.
That's for the real OGs.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'll shoot up there and get some footage of the new stuff and put it into a reel. Unbuyable.
Yeah, I like the unbuyable.
So the events, I saw that Larry Young said like the experiences went above his expectations in every aspect. And I think I saw him and his wife in the stands, but I was nowhere near them to like go be able to get over to say hi. And for us to get to the pit, we have to be escorted in.
Oh no.
So you have to go to like a meetup area, get a security guard, takes you to the pit, and then you have to be escorted back out of there. So there's not a lot you can like move around and do. It's like straight to the pit, straight out. So anyway, the events, we had the run, row, run this morning. Allie just described it. It was a beautiful day for it. 2 days ago, it was 95 degrees here, 100% humidity. And it broke with a major rainstorm yesterday and opened up to a beautiful day today. I don't think we saw
like 60s for when the individuals were going.
Yeah, if like 58 to 62, something like that. I don't think we saw anything surprising in that event.
For me, I was disappointed in James's finish. I thought he'd be higher.
Didn't he take
Like 10th?
really?
Yeah, it wasn't exceptional. Like I figured he'd be top 4.
7th.
I figured he'd be top 4.
Okay.
Hatfield surprised me. I did not expect him to be 4th or whatever he was.
Yeah, that was definitely surprising.
Like I would have thought Hatfield and James would have switched. If you would have
I was surprised Ricky was behind Roman.
Yeah, I was gonna say Roman surprised me a bit because I just like thinking about that event. I was like Jeff and Ricky, like nobody can hold anything to their runs. So yeah, that Roman did surprise me a little bit, but he's just so good.
A lot of people agreeing on the James thing.
I think I picked James as like a flex pick. I think I picked Jeff and then James flex. So I'd expected to be higher than he was. 7th was a bit of a surprise to me.
Yeah, I picked Tia, Haley, and Ricky.
Okay.
So I didn't do well at all because I only got one right answer.
Yeah. I think Ricky's points will get you pretty good. Like I think you probably wound up better than me, even though I picked the 2 winners because I have somebody who got 7th as my flex.
Yeah, I had 3rd, 1st, 4th.
Yeah, I can't sleep on Amy Kringle on a running event. Come on, Scott.
I didn't really expect her to get 2nd. I know
Really?
she's very good, but I don't know. I don't know who I thought would be 2nd. I don't know if I thought it'd be Haley, but yeah, Amy crushed that row.
I think you also have to consider as like, you know, as a CrossFit athlete, you're kind of constantly playing whack-a-mole, right? Like your strength, you can get stronger and more enduring at the same time, but when you're really diving in on one, some of those are going to take a hit. And so when I think of athletes like Haley and James, like they do have some pretty big weaknesses. And because their running is so strong, they can afford to like let that training, you know, quote unquote, slip a little bit and still get a 4th or 7th or whatever, but then make massive improvements on bigger weaknesses that are going to like take them, you know, lower in the path.
Absolutely.
Yeah, on the women's side, I don't think there really was much shocking. I mean, I'm following Hattie this weekend. They expected to be higher than this because she's a better runner.
Yeah.
What you'll see in the behind the scenes is she hit every one of her training paces, and she just didn't compete. You know what I mean? Like she was so stuck on the pace,
Yeah.
that she didn't pay attention around her to see if she could push it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. It's definitely a slippery slope on a long event like that though. Because like you can definitely get caught up in the race of it and the adrenaline of the first event and like it's very exciting and then you just could tank on that. And also like you oftentimes when you perfectly pace a workout, you kind of feel like maybe I could have pushed it a little harder, you know?
Yes.
So it's always a fine line, but I definitely get that feeling of like, like I should have competed and like, you know, kind of paid attention, but all it takes is to do that once and you blow up and then you're like, I should have stuck to my paces, you know? So
Right.
you're always balancing that for sure.
Yeah. So Tia wins, Jeff wins. I think most people figured that to be the case. But Amy Kringle did row her ass off and almost caught Tia on the row. And then it just kind of fell off.
Yeah, that was cool for a second.
We go to all crossed up. And on the men's side, I think the early big story was Colton Mertens breaking his rope in the first round of crossover double unders.
Tragic.
This is when I was running my event, so I actually missed that event.
And he still took 3rd in the heat.
What did he do?
He actually was given just a blank rope.
They had
It was not his. I think Belites gave him just a rope,
Yeah.
and then he had to figure it out. But
Good on him, though.
his his style or whatever was very different before and after.
Yes. So like not only did he lose the 45 seconds that it took him to get a rope, I think for one that like a little bit got in his head, but then I feel like the jump was different because he tripped a few times. So I mean I feel like he lost more than a minute easily.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely like a big hiccup, but it speaks to his, athletic abilities to be able to be like, all right, what rope am I doing? Okay, it doesn't matter. Like it's not ideal, but getting it done.
Yeah.
Are you good? Give us a thumbs up. Okay. Got worried there for a second.
The other thing they were talking about on the broadcast was that you should take 2 ropes.
Yeah.
That is true. That was going to be my second point.
So when you're at semifinals, do they allow you to take 2 ropes to the floor?
Yeah. At least in my experience, they have.
Yeah.
Because I'm that athlete. I'm bringing the 2 athlete.
I have not ever done that.
Yeah, I think we all learned a lesson today that if you're competing, take 2.
Yeah.
Did you test this one, Allie?
Yeah, I did. It was super fun. I love it. And I think they did it exactly the same. The only change that they made, I believe, because they don't like tell me what they, end up finalizing or whatever, but they were going to be very strict about the dumbbell, using your other hand on the dumbbell. And that was a big change this year. Because in the past, they allowed you to use your other hand to kind of like restable it. And then as long as you let go, you're good to go. But I believe the rule that they were going to do this year was that once it leaves the floor, if your other hand touches it, it has to go back to the floor.
Yep.
So like if you're mid rep, then that's a no rep. But if you finish the rep and you stabilize it here, you have to put it back down. So that is definitely like I said, I missed this event because this was when I was running, but I could see how that would play a big factor, and especially those last 10 reps. Like I remember I was trying to get 10 unbroken, and I kind of had like a wobble, and had I been able to like just stabilize it and reset, I could have got a couple more on that same arm, but I had to switch.
Quite a few people had to break that final set.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, even Tia was slow. Like Danielle almost caught her on the last, literally like the last rep. Like Danielle was able to cycle it.
Well, Danielle was ahead of her for most of that race.
Yeah, only for like the first quarter, third.
Danielle was faster on the crossovers and faster on the dumbbell. Tia killed her on the toes to bar.
Toe to bar.
I was right there. I mean, I was right beside Danielle when that finish happened.
She did excellent.
So we have that. Tia wins her second event. Crazy. Ricky won that on the men's side. Justin Medeiros in second. Can we say, like, he looks really good?
He does.
He does.
Way better. Like, that's been the surprise of the day for me.
Okay.
Is how good Justin has looked.
He's been looking good though. Like this season, like I feel like I know there's been a lot of media around it, so I try to like differentiate like what is the media saying versus like what am I actually seeing. But he's spoken a lot to just like his mindset and having fun with his training, and I can really resonate a lot with that as an athlete, and it just feels a lot lighter, and it's been paying off for him. So that's awesome.
Yeah, he took 12th in the run, which is better than he's been doing in runs. He took second in this event, and he does well in the next event as well. So yeah, and then third was Jay Crouch, Jason Hopper fourth, Harry Lightfoot fifth. Harry Lightfoot's having a nice weekend.
That was a good day for him.
On the women's side, we have Tia wins, Danielle second, Amy Kringle third. and Lucy McGonigal 4th, Lydia Fish 5th. Couple big surprises in that. At this point of the day, Amy Kringle had put together a 2nd and a 3rd. Lydia Fish a 12th and a 5th. So they were looking pretty good. Even Danielle Brandon was 8th and 2nd. Then the wheels came off the bus.
Yeah.
A little bit.
So, and this is where all of the controversy has been since I got back to my hotel trying to catch up on everything. Where I was at in the pit, I was nowhere near the pegboards.
Okay.
So I couldn't see. All I could see is those sick looking rads with the purple that look so good in person. I want to go buy a pair tomorrow. They were not gripping the pegboards at all. Then it comes out that some of the pegboards were slipperier than others. Some had sweat all over them. Some people were spitting on their shoes. Some were wiping their shoes. Lane 2 seemed to be stickier than every other lane. All kinds of stuff is coming out at this point. We end this with Fee Sagafi winning pretty handily by over a minute. Lydia Fish 2nd, Syria Meha 3rd, Olivia Kerstetter 4th, Lexi Neely 5th. The big shock is Tia-Clair Toomey did them strict.
Yeah.
Because she got no grip, and she ended up in 16th place.
Woo!
Giving a big shake up to the leaderboard.
It was in the old caption where you're just like
Yeah.
completely extended, just like half a rep at a time. It was really impressive to watch though. Like
It was, because if anyone else had gotten to that point, which others kind of did, they just couldn't do them.
Yeah.
And she did them all.
Yeah, she's like, I'm doing these. There's no choice.
Right.
You broke up for me there for a second, Jamie.
I said if anyone else had gotten to that point, which others did, they wouldn't have gotten them. I mean, that's why other people were falling off, because they couldn't handle it. The fact that Tia can just do legless and get through it speaks volumes.
And just the mentality of like, well, this is the situation I'm in. Like, whether it's slippery or not, like we can assume that Tia's probably better at pegboards than that, and so there probably was something going on with the surface. But she's like, well, I gotta, there's just me to figure this out.
Yeah. And it did seem like when she got towards the top, she was able to bring her feet up and get some traction at the top. What surprises me is like, she is such a veteran that you would think, I'm trying to think if she had a tank top on or something, if she only had her sports bra on, but like and the men corrected for this, so it's tough to compare the two, but you would think she would have had something to be able to wipe her shoe or wipe the board at the bottom, at least put her hand up and at least get where her feet go to start. Yeah. And she didn't. And that surprises me. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's a tricky thing. It's hard to say without like, fully experiencing it, but I do have quite a bit of experience with those plexiglass pegboards, and I mean, I could see like even if somebody in the previous heat had like some body lotion or oil or something on it, they hit it and then just a little bit of that just gets smeared. It's like, I could see how that could make a really big difference. And I was just like thinking they need like how they have in the NBA games, how they have the people that come out and like squeegee the floor. I'm like, that they had the guy who popped out the pegs, which was pretty cool. Like, they could just have like a giant Swiffer to just like do a once over just to get anything extra off, because that was actually one of the things at the ranch because Dave has his pegboard there, and it was a little dusty, and he was saying how somebody had tested that event and they were really slipping and struggling, and I don't think they were quite as experienced with the pegboard yet, but I had Dave like spray it down for me, and it was good. So I could see how that would make a big difference. It's a tough thing to know for sure, because I think it's a fine line of like, just having an excuse of why you did or didn't do well, or like actually something happened and there was discrepancies, or maybe some athletes have never done it on the plexiglass before, and so they're not used to, like, because it is a technique to like get your foot really pushed in, and like you have to have good ankle mobility, good hip mobility to really maximize that technique. So it's hard to say, was it a technique thing or was it actually a surface thing?
Bruce said that Justin called this on Boys Interrupted. He did. He said last time he did pegboards, the person before him was sweating all over the pegboard and he was sliding all over the place, and he was going to call it out in the briefing. But again, like, if you don't have the tools there equipped to fix it, how are you going to change last minute?
Did they wipe them off between the women to the men? No?
I don't think so.
I wasn't, watching it like a hawk, but not too much.
Now, here's the other controversy. They did have the guy going and getting the pegs out for some athletes.
Yes. Not
all athletes got that benefit. Some were just given new pegs to go up and get their old pegs.
Yeah. Not cool. That's definitely a different obstacle to overcome if those pegs are still there.
Yeah, Abby Domet had to pull her own.
Right. At the very top. It was in the top two holes. Well, the hole right below the top.
And she fell 4 times in a row. That's
I wonder
awful.
Like the standard with that, like, could you just climb up with the other peg and then just hook on to the new peg and start using that one? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. I don't think you were allowed to do that. I think she had to pull the previous peg out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So on the men's side, we had Jason Hopper win, Roman second, Harry Lightfoot third, Justin Medeiros fourth, and Jay Crouch in fifth. And that brings the overall leaderboard. If it'll let me sort it back, it never does.
Jason was incredible. I believe he did.
I know Jason's in first.
Touch and go.
He definitely did the first 4 unbroken, and then I think that he did the rest of them.
Yeah, he did. James did great too. He broke in the round of 2 on pegboards, but he did the 4 and the 3 unbroken.
Wow, that's great. He was just so fast too. Like, James definitely missed an opportunity because, like, he could have probably stayed with some of those guys.
Yeah,
and he had the push because he was so far ahead. But then there was like over half the heat was sub 6.
Yep.
So on the women's side, tia-clair Toomey's in first. Lydia Fish is only 6 points behind. Lucy Campbell is tied with Lydia Fish. And Maddie Sturt is in fourth, but she's 50 points behind Tia. Kringle in fifth. Danielle Brandon in sixth. Ariel Lowen in seventh. Miriam Von Rohr in eighth. V. Sagafi in ninth. Claudia Gluck in 10th. On the men's side, I need to, here we go. Overall, our leader in the clubhouse after day 1 is Jason Hopper. Second is Jay Crouch. Third, Roman Krenikoff. Actually, Hopper and Crouch are tied.
Right.
At 260. Roman is only 4 points back. Ricky Garrard is 20 points back, tied with Justin Medeiros. Harry Lightfoot in 6th. Jeffrey Adler in 7th. 8th is James Sprague. 9th, Dallin Pepper. And number whatever in your programs, but number one in Jamie's heart, Tudor Magda in 10th place.
I mean, I told said he was going to have a few good. I think tomorrow's deadlift handstand walk is going to be good for him too. He's going to have
And the
some,
back squat.
Yep, and the back squat. He's going to have. There's a couple people. I'd say Annika's is working on her climb right now too. She's going to have a good morning tomorrow.
Too, I think. She surprised me on the pegboard event.
Olivia?
Yeah, that was
Yeah, she did incredible on that upper body pulling. I think most people would have thought that would have stopped her in her tracks a little bit. Since you tested this and since it was brought up all over the place and everyone kept saying it's not heavy enough for the girls. And I know it's hard to look at it now because clearly there was issues, but men and women had issues, but the men still, wiped the floor with the women in this event.
Yeah.
I say this every time. I'm sick of people asking for heavier weights. Why do we not just get better at gymnastics and keep the race closer? And why do you keep wanting to push the weights? It would have made this workout even worse if you would have made that barbell heavier for women.
I agree. And I think that the people that say that, they just like to complain about stuff. And they don't understand the testing that goes into it. Because now that you've seen it play out, it's like, oh, the percentages are a little off. But now that you've seen it play out, the women's time cap was 5 minutes longer and less of them finished.
Yeah, exactly.
And the last bar still looked hard for the ones that got there. It wasn't like they just breezed through it. Like I was watching those girls, like it was a challenging weight, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think just like the cumulative fatigue and the decision to keep the reps the same, which is like huge because typically in legless or pegboards, like you see a reduction in reps. And so another thing that a lot of people don't realize is that they program the weights typically for what fits on the bar seamlessly. Like they hardly ever put the 2.5 or the little 5s. Like Dave doesn't like how that looks, and logistically, I don't think that it just makes it more complicated. So they're like, I'd rather it be a little heavier or lighter than the perfect, 70% or whatever is like typical, than worry about like all this like logistics and it not looking clean. So that was definitely a big decision that we made on the weights, or that he made on the weights that I tested. Because it started, I think, a little lighter or a little heavier in comparison, but then it ended, a little bit lighter as well.
Right.
Fergie says, Annika is so well-spoken. Hope you get an interview with her, Scott. Well, I spoke to her today. It was not appropriate to put her on camera in that moment. She was warming up for the pegboards, but her and Hattie actually warmed up together. So she's going to be in the behind the scenes of Hattie. And I have their interaction recorded back and forth as the two Canadian women were preparing for the pegboards.
I loved her dad dyed his beard purple to match her hair. It was the cutest thing.
That is cute.
Yep.
It's so funny. Last night, Amanda, Hari, and I were talking, and she's like, I'm so big with the dads. They always come up and introduce themselves and say that they watch my show and whatever. And sure enough, this morning, 2 dads introduce themselves to me and say they watch our show.
That's awesome.
And one of those is Dallin Pepper's dad. And who was the other one? I think it was someone that I've talked to before, but yeah, the Dallin one kind of surprised me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, before we move on from the pegboard event, I want to shout out to our girl Carolyne, who had the buzzer beater rep right at the end. I don't know if you guys saw that. I think she was finishing her set of 2, and she had 3 seconds, and she 3, 2, 1, puts it in, holds it, looks at her judge after the clock, and she's like,
"Yep."
It was a really cool moment.
Yeah, I actually was making fun of her that she brought out the Tiger Woods arm pump for the end of that. But an update on Carolyne. One, she did get the full T-shirts. So she got 2 of those.
Okay.
The other one was that she has a rash.
Uh-oh.
And it's in the vignette I did with her that's out on YouTube right now. Members can see it. She broke out like all of her arms, her neck, and her face. And so she's switching hotels.
Is that where she thinks it's from the hotel? The sheets?
Yeah.
Does she have like allergies or something? Like
She has sensitive skin, and I know that's she gets her hands will get.
Yeah. So she talks about it. That's the only reason I'm bringing it up is she talks about it in the vignette and shows her arms. But it's really itchy. And when she sweats, it gets worse.
Yeah.
So she is really battling through that. Denise says she's allergic to the US.
Just read that.
But yeah, she's been in great spirits. We've been talking a lot today, back in the warm-up area. And she isn't in a zone that like pushes me away when we go to talk back there. She's like in really good spirits, really having fun. I think just appreciating the moment because it's been a few years since she's made it back. And I think she's just loving life. And I did get another thing I saw in the back room is Alex Kazan was warming up with the girls.
Aw.
She did not perform. She, of course, because of everything that's been going on, but she was back either cooling down on a bike or warming up on a bike with the girls, just chatting, which I thought was kind of cool.
That's awesome. She did say she'd be here. I remember that. So that's good.
New York will do that to you.
Yeah.
It'll give you a rash. So do we want to talk teams since someone is intimately involved with all that?
I enjoyed watching the teams. I think it's been great. Let's do it.
Can I make my one complaint before we start? I think the teams should all have different colored uniforms.
different than the individuals.
Each team has a different color.
Yeah.
It would make it so much easier to watch and figure out who's where, who's on what team, who's going through what. When they're all wearing the same outfits, it really gets confusing live.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
Looking at the whole
even
floor.
like if you're an even lane, you have to wear like a light color. If you're odd lane, you wear a dark color. That'd be interesting. To at least like just draw some like differentiation. Because that was one thing that I did with Brass Team. They coincidentally, like by chance, they were like the only team to wear the bright blue shirts on the run today. So I was able to like spot them easily. And there was another event too where they happened to be wearing a different color than the other teams. So I agree with that, Scott.
Yeah, I agree. That would be nice. I don't know if because the sponsor is like making this kit and it's pretty much the same, but yeah, maybe they do the 4 colors and, you know, like a quarter of the team gets all black, a quarter of the team gets all teal, a quarter of the team gets all, and that's their color, and hopefully they get spread out on the floors.
Yeah. If you could pick your team colors, what would they be?
Green.
I love the colors that they did this year. Like, I think they're the perfect balance of like bright and like fun, but still like subtle and like, you know, not like
Obnoxious.
Like some years Reebok was like fun colors, but it was like so bright that it was almost like cheesy, you know? So it still looks very professional, and I like the color like block where it's like a pink shirt with like a pink, like a darker pink name, right? So I think they did a great job. I would choose the colors.
It kind of reminds me of fall colors.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like autumn leaves.
They do have like that orangey pink in there. But I really like the blues too. And yeah, I think they did a great job.
Yes. Spartan green is what I would wear.
I would wear orange. Nobody asked, but I'm saying it. Chicago Bear orange, to be specific.
I was thinking, other than like a high vis yellow, but I didn't love that because that's kind of what we had last year at the Masters. I feel like orange shows off well. At least it's bright and pops for people on camera.
Yeah, I'm over the high vis green.
Yeah,
The Masters, like that was just too much last year.
it was too much.
All right, so teams, they started with the same row run
Yeah.
this morning.
Yeah, it seems like I feel like from your initial, from my initial reaction, it seems unimaginative that they made them do like the exact same thing as the individuals. I think it was really cool to get an opportunity to just like go for it on a run like this, because a lot of the times, especially in the previous couple of years, they've made them run with the rope, and it just totally, unless you have 4 people that are very, very similar in running capacity, it just makes the workout really easy for 3 people and really hard for 1. And you're kind of just like at your weakest link, which I don't think, like, imagine doing a max back squat event, for example, and they just take the weakest person. It just kind of like, I think there's a place for it, but it's been a little bit overdone. So it was really cool to see the teams just like kind of get to go for it, and you can compare their scores with the individuals, and you can also help your teammates then if you do have somebody who struggles with running. You're like, well, I gotta punch it. We gotta make up as many seconds as we can.
Yeah.
And that was one thing that we saw with a lot of the sprint offs for the teams. Some people who weren't surrounded by other athletes wouldn't like punch the finish line, and it's like, well, your teammate could be 1 second behind somebody, and so if you didn't punch it, like, you lost that race, and so just the little things like that, where it's like it was an individual event, but there was definitely some team things to keep in mind.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked seeing the individual times. I liked that the front 3 guys was, I mean, they put up some freaking competitive times.
And shout out to Nikita, he was 4th.
Yep.
I know people are saying that we can't hear Allison as well as the others. I will get her a mini mic for tomorrow night for sure. I will find her tomorrow.
A little louder.
Yeah, I think it's the way your headphones are designed. They have like an automatic noise canceling, and so it just messes. But I have extra mini mics. I can just get you one.
Okay, thank you.
And we'll have that for tomorrow night. So on that one, CrossFit Oslo, Krieger wins. Kristin Holte back on the floor for the first time, and they end up winning the first 2 events.
Yeah.
I saw her. We're getting ready for the opening ceremonies. I wanted to ask her what it was like to be back out on a games floor, actually competing again. But they were checking people in so fast. Who else did well in that one?
They were the only team to finish that second event.
I know.
Which was crazy.
Camel City was right there. They just, yeah.
Camel City was 3rd. Blueprint CrossFit team AOD was 2nd. 8th Day was 4th. They would do well in all the running events.
Yes.
CrossFit Invictus was 5th with Danny.
Yeah. So, and actually, Danielle Dunlap on 8th Day, I don't know if she's having shin splints or it looked like she had her knees taped. That was not a great performance from her. She was actually behind Danny. Danny actually didn't do, I mean,
I was going to say, Danny looked like she was like in the pack. She wasn't like, there was a few people that were far beyond the pack.
Right.
And then Emily is like a collegiate runner. I think she finished 4th overall as well.
Yeah.
For the women.
Is it a perception that Danny in the games individual group is a terrible runner because she's up against the best of the best?
Probably.
And in the team, it's more of like a spread out talent pool.
Yeah.
And there she's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say yes.
Yeah. I do talk about her a little bit with Phil in that full vignette. And that's pretty good.
I
So
think
that is the
Sean
top.
I think their boys did pretty good on that event too. I don't remember exactly
Yes.
where they finished up, but
And then your Camp Rhino CrossFit Dogs took 6th.
yeah, they crushed it. Like I said, Nikita was 4th from the guys, and Lena got 3rd overall for the girls. So that really, and then Raph and Omer were like, up middle upper part of the pack, and so I think just having the consistency there is like really where you can make it up in a type of event. Like if you have 3 good runners, but then you have a 4th person that's way back there, it's like you just can't make that up over 4 consistent people.
Right.
The next event is Conga Line, and I apparently missed it.
Oh, this is what she was saying, that Oz was the only team to have finished it. That was
I did see it. No,
brutal.
Yeah. It was, I think it was probably just, they should have made the time cap, like even just a minute longer, because there was so many teams that were right there. And it definitely felt anticlimactic that it's like, okay, they're all just done now. And you don't know where anybody finished. And it was definitely hectic for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a tough event. And sometimes it's just hard to get those time caps exactly right.
Agree.
And then they did It's Complex Pegboard.
With very minimal rest, I must say. I can't imagine what those people's grip. I mean, they did a shit ton of totem bar.
Yeah.
And then went into pegboard. Like, oh.
Yep. Yeah, Lena was saying that her grip, she definitely felt her grip on the toes to bar workout. Like she was the second pair too, so she went right from the toes to bar into the cleaning jerks.
Mm-hmm.
And they were trying to do some touch and go, and it was just like not there.
Yeah.
Understandably. But she said she was actually, despite it being a pretty short turnaround, she felt okay on the pegboards. But I think that's kind of like an acute thing. You just get like that pump there and you can't get it out. But with a little bit of recovery, and that speaks to the recovery levels of these athletes too, where they can just like put it all out there in one event and then have a quick 30-minute rest and crush it again.
I wonder if the teams going first had an impact, because thinking about it and watching that, like looking back now, the teams, and there's far inferior pullers on the teams, and they looked fine on the pegboard. Like I didn't really see, and I know you're going back and forth, so it's not quite the same, but they just did 5 minutes of pegboard, and there weren't people falling off the pegboard like you might expect to see out of a team's field.
CJ from Wad Prep is giving me a math equation. Field of 30 equals far superior to 40 from a fan perspective.
It has been nice. I agree.
I will die on this hill though. It would even be better if it was the right 30.
100%. Yes.
The moment we get to the right 30, then I'll buy in.
What's this T with the right 30? I haven't been following it with you guys. So.
Well, the fact that some of the regions were their own region and some weren't, and you're inevitably not going to have the absolute best 30 in the world.
Right. Yeah.
So that's
by the end of the weekend, we can probably predict who the bottom 5 are on both sides.
Yeah.
Because you just know. It would be really nice to not be able to do that.
Yeah. True.
And I'm sure in your career, you missed out on the CrossFit Games because they didn't take the best 40.
Yeah.
Right?
Possibly, yeah.
And I think that is the biggest mistake CrossFit has made in the games.
Yeah.
It's always a moving target.
Because it changes the leaderboard tremendously if you have the best 40 going every event.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because anybody can make a mess of the leaderboard.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, that's the hill I'm willing to die on.
How do you think they can do that? I mean, this might be a whole other podcast, right? But
I don't think we should
Only
be an Olympic
online?
sport. No. I think that you don't close it to a region. I think, first of all, this season was a shit show and should never be repeated. The way they did it was a complete mess. But if you're going to have events around the world, they just need to be open events. Anybody can sign up. Anybody can go.
Like sanctional.
They shouldn't be closed to just Africa or just South America and then guarantee that your home country gets some spots. That's the problem. But then will you get those event organizers to buy in if their own people don't get to go? I don't know, but maybe it's not worth them staying if we get the wrong people. And then their people should be working to become good enough that isn't going to matter anymore.
Yep.
People don't wear Lakers jerseys because someone from their country is in the NBA. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
All right. So on the complex pegboard, we had CrossFit Mayhem win. CrossFit Le Prayer Mayhem take second.
I saw
Camel
their
City
girls
third.
go like 5 reps in, and I was like, they got it. Like
Crushed
they had
it.
one girl that was doing doubles every round, and she just looked so strong. I wish I knew her name. I'm sorry, but you were amazing.
Yep.
Q2-1 CrossFit took fourth, and CrossFit Greater Heights Overtake took fifth. And then we finish up with 4 events, which is crazy.
I know.
Day 1. It's complex lift.
That was their snatch overhead squat.
That was won by CrossFit 1124. Then CrossFit Butcher's Lab Van Loos.
Their men were insane.
Then CrossFit Oslo Krieger. Fourth was CrossFit Prestanda. And fifth is CrossFit for Friends Smart. Interesting name. Don't know how it goes together, but
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know which
CrossFit
team
for
that is.
Friends is the affiliate.
Okay.
Some teams have like an extra. I don't know for sure, but some teams have like the Camp Rhino CrossFit Dogs. Like they have like a descriptor.
yeah. So the overall leaderboard at this point is Camel City CrossFit is in first.
Wow.
CrossFit Butcher's Lab Von Loos is in second. CrossFit Mayhem is in third. Oslo Krieger is in fourth. And Proven is in fifth. Without a single top 5 finish.
That's insane.
Oslo had a tough pegboard score. I heard through the grapevine that they had their pegboard felt slick. But
Oh, okay. So that's where it started.
They finished. So Krieger's finishes are first, pegboard 17th, third.
Yeah, that's crazy. I would not expect that from that team. So I don't know what lane were they in.
20, that's finishing.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's almost last.
Yeah.
But I think they can come back from that. I think that seems like it was a fluke, and clearly they have the fitness and the capacity, and definitely the strength, to keep scoring up.
I kept waiting for Tola to do like a set of like 6, and he was only doing like doubles on that. He seemed more fatigued than I anticipated. So I don't know if their effort in the second workout cost them a little bit. Like holding on for those toe to bar and then not being able to hold for those pegboards. I don't know. I mean, there might have been some overlap there.
I'm surprised you didn't bring this up, Jamie. CrossFit, the one in first, Camel City CrossFit,
Is
2 masters athletes
I was
for the
about
women.
to say that. Yeah. You got Stevie and
that you have competed against at Crash,
yep.
and they're both really, really good.
Yeah.
Carolyne Klutz and Stevie Dellinger.
Yep.
Killing it in first place on the teams. That's pretty awesome.
That is very impressive.
The old Masters athletes don't die. They just keep on playing elsewhere.
They go to teams.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought that was fun.
It is cool. They've actually been talking a decent amount about Carolyne, and there's 5 other women, 3 more on the teams other than Stevie and Carolyne, that are all going into the Masters competition.
Yeah,
so,
I heard them promoting Masters through Prevo a couple times.
Yep.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, they're doing a good job.
They also announced their broadcast team.
Oh,
for the Masters.
Who's the broadcast team?
The same people it always is.
Okay.
It's Sean Woodland, Chase Ingram, Joel Gadet, Tommy Marquez, Bailey. Yeah. Bella
Martin.
Martin.
Yeah.
Bailey Martin's the Australian CrossFitter.
I was like, it sounds like he's wanting to say Bailey Martin, but I don't think that's right.
Bella. I just think other people deserve shots.
Yeah. I
It's
like
not
when
that I have
Lauren's
anything
there.
against those people, but you're never going to build a bench if you use the same people over and over again.
Yeah. The Australian Lauren. Isn't that her name, Lauren?
Yeah.
I think she's English.
Is she is she from England?
She's English. Yeah.
All right. Okay. I like her.
Yeah.
When she's around.
I heard Bethany a little bit on the live streaming. She did a good job today.
I thought she was good.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna have to jump here soon, but if you guys wanted to have any last minute takes with me, I'm happy to chat.
So you cut out on us a little bit there, Allie.
I think I'm gonna have to jump here in a little bit. Team's getting ready for bed soon, but I just said if you had any last minute takes that you wanted to chat with before I head out.
Yeah, this is pretty much the end of the show. I was just gonna tell them what's coming up, and tomorrow we'll have a mic for you, so we can hear all your great takes. But I do want to let people know there's 2 vignettes out on YouTube right now. There's 2 more coming tonight. I sat down with Lucy Campbell, and that's going to come out. And I did a profile on Amanda Hari and how she does her stuff and why it's widely different than everybody else. And I have one I'm scheduled with tomorrow where it's a media company who love extreme sports. So they work in CrossFit. They work in like deep sea diving stuff. They work in MMA. They work in all this bizarre stuff. And they just love the extreme sports. And I thought that was a pretty unique perspective. So I'm going to learn more about that. So yeah, we'll keep coming out with more and more content like that. And then we'll be back tomorrow with us all sounding awesome. With that, guys, thank you so much for joining us. As always, you guys are the best. And we'll see everybody tomorrow night on the live wrap-up show from the CrossFit Games. Bye.
Bye.
And I can't find my mouse. There it is. Bye, guys.